doing?
We would be honored if you would join us.
In the early days of Darth Maul's career as a Sith, before Episode 1, having recently tasted his first Jedi kill, a Twi'lek Padawan named Eldra Catis, Star Wars Darth Maul 2017 number 1-5 shows this in depth. A story that I covered in an earlier video, which I will link below as well. The Zabrak assassin's bloodlust had only soared from that moment on. He desperately wanted to test himself against more Jedi. However, his master's plans required that the Jedi not know that the Sith had returned. Not yet. Impatient and frustrated with this, Maul decided to focus on the lower levels of Coruscant, while his master, Sidious, built alliances throughout the upper levels of the planet-wide spanning city. Maul would instead build his own with the riffraff and undesirables down below. To do this, he had created a fictitious criminal organization called the Kaitis Cartel, named after the very Jedi Padawan that he killed, in order to have a network that he could utilize to find other Force sensitives, which he believed he might have found in Zek Pyro, Coruscant's greatest thief for hire, who was rumored to have remarkable skills that were unmatched by any. So in order to test this, Maul hired him via the Kaitis Cartel to steal Scarn from another criminal group. Now, Scarn is a compound that is used to make spice. Wearing a helmet to conceal his identity, Maul pretends to be an enforcer, also hired by the Kaitis Cartel, to aid the thief in the heist. So, in the shadows, he and Zek quietly approach the location where the Scarn deal is to take place. There are just a handful of the spice dealers there, waiting on their buyers. Maul wants to act, but the thief stops him. He suspects they won't be able to get out before the buyers show up. Maul wonders if that is experience or the Force warning the thief. As the thief predicted, the buyers then show up with their armed guards. But Maul's patience has worn out and he jumps at his prey. He doesn't use his lightsaber, as even in the lower levels, the wounds it would cause could draw the attention of the Jedi. Not that he needs his lightsaber anyways. The Force and his incredible martial arts skills are more than a match for them. The thief joins him with his blaster and pretty decent fighting skills of his own. Even as Maul is dominating these guards, he keeps his attention on Zek and notes how he instinctively, without looking, shoots other guards coming at him from behind. Maul can sense that the Force is indeed with the thief. It moves around him, but his grasp of it is clumsy. He lacks training, but has great potential. After they have killed the guards and the spice dealers, Maul has one final test for the thief, to see if he can locate the Scarn. As Zek enters the spice dealer's vessel, Maul can feel just a touch of the Force guiding the thief's hand to the exact compartment where they stashed the Scarn. He thinks it's luck, but Maul knows better. And so, as they wait for the fictitious Kaitis Cartel to arrive, Maul is convinced that if life had been different for Zek, he would have been a Jedi, instead of a lowlife running around with the garbage of the lower levels. For Maul, this is yet another example of the Jedi's failure. Satisfied that Zek is a Force sensitive, Maul uses the Force and hurls a sharp metal object through the thief's chest, killing him instantly. But the thief's death does nothing for him. The rage, the hunger for blood, is as loud as ever. Shortly after, Maul meets with Sidious, who is displeased with his antics in the lower levels. His Sith master believes that Maul risks exposing them to the Jedi because of his impatience and his lack of control over his rage. So, he takes Maul to the Sith temple on the planet Malachor. This is also where in Rebels Vader fought Ahsoka. The mysterious planet is a demolished wasteland where a battle between the Jedi and Sith took place thousands of years prior. Known as the Great Scourge of Malachor, it ended when a superweapon was activated, causing everyone there to be instantly charged into stony fossils forever, frozen in terror-stricken poses. In Maul's youth, it was here he was first exposed to the sins of the Jedi. Sidious explains that the ashes of their fallen brethren holds more than one lesson, and so he has Maul consume some of the ashes off of these petrified statuette figures to let the dark side flow into him, granting him a vision. Suddenly, Maul is no longer on Malachor, but in a green field and wearing the brown robes of a Jedi. A Zabrak boy begs him to help his family from an attack by a giant creature. Maul is stunned and confused. He thinks to himself that he is no Jedi, no protector of the weak, but he is a hunter and still hungers for fresh prey. So, he ignites his double-bladed blue lightsaber and attacks the beast and kills it. Then the boy's family throws him a dinner, thanking him and the Jedi for saving them. Maul feels that everything is very wrong. He knows that he shouldn't be here. The father of the family invites him to stay the night, which Maul responds to by decapitating the man's head and then slashing the rest of the family until there is only the boy who begged for his help left. The boy asks him why. Maul answers, because this is what the Jedi are. A lie told to a desperate galaxy. Then he dispatches the boy and finishes with, "A lie will end." Suddenly he is surrounded by shadowy Jedi figures, all waving ancient lightsabers with a similar hilt as Kylo Ren's, but before they can attack and destroy him, Sidious clapping brings Maul out of his vision. His master wants to know what he just saw, but more importantly, what he has learned. Maul has learned that even though rage fuels the Sith, it won't be enough to stop the Jedi alone. The Jedi have numbers on their side, as well as the faith of the Republic's citizens. Sidious assures him that is true for now, but with patience and careful planning, in time, the Jedi will lose both. And of course, he was right. Sidious wants Maul to remember that anger is a tool for the Sith, not the Master. And that was the end of the story. So, what do you guys think? Did Maul learn his master's lessons about patience? We know that he hadn't by episode 1. It was his arrogance and hubris and impatience that got him slashed in half by Obi-Wan. But what about in the Clone Wars? Or after, during the days of the Empire? Something that I noted about the story is the foreshadowing in the beginning with Maul's fake cartel. Now, during the Clone Wars, he and his brother Savage Opress would create their own little shadow empire in the underworld when they took over Black Sun. And later, Maul on his own would run a criminal organization, as we learned at the end of Solo. I thought it was a nice touch. So what did you think of Maul being in Jedi robes and with a blue double-bladed lightsaber? Now, that would make for a great theory video, and in fact, I've actually done that. What if Darth Maul was a Jedi? It is fully animated, but it's just in low poly, so you guys can check it out if you want, and maybe one day I'll turn it into an actual 2D or 3D animation. You guys can check out the link to that down below, and I will see you all in the next episode of Star Wars Theory. Until then, remember, the Force will be with you, always.
Full